Hello and welcome. This is Peter from All-Inclusive-Caribbean-cruises.net. Today I want to quickly talk to you about Caribbean cruises from New York. For those of you who may not know this, there is a fairly popular cruise terminal in Manhattan from which people from the Northeast, in the surrounding states, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, uh, people coming down from Boston, from Massachusetts, and states to the north of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and so on, and as well as people who fly with easy access to New York City, because the people can fly in from outside the country. Plus, people can take a train in, and it's an easy ride into the city. So New York City is a popular as a popular port for cruises heading to the Caribbean. Generally, you will find longer cruises leaving from New York to the Caribbean or the Bahamas, and even to Bermuda. There are cruises heading south of New York, Bermuda, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean. There are some popular cruise lines that sail out of New York. And these include Carnival, which is the most popular cruise line in the world, and then there is Norwegian and Princess Cruises. If you are looking to find a cruise just about any time of the year, then your best bet will be Carnival or Norwegian. They offer cruises um, just about any month during the year. And their cruises will be anywhere from 7 days, 8 days longer cruises. Well, Carnival and Norwegian are generally 7 or 8 days or so. There's some other cruise lines that offer limited sailings out of New York. There's Princess Cruises. There is Cunard, and they offer sailings via the famous Queen Mary II ship. There's Crystal. There's Silver Sea. So you'll be able to find some other limited sailings from these cruise lines. But for Carnival and Norwegian, you can generally find a cruise um, just about any month of the year. Like I said, cruises from New York will be 7 days or longer from New York to the Caribbean. That's what we're talking about today. And one thing to note about cruises from New York is that they will cost more. Expect to spend more money on a cruise out of New York to the Caribbean or the Bahamas than you will spend on the same length cruise out of Miami or Port Canaveral or Fort Lauderdale. These are ports in Florida. It works out in the end because if you were to fly to Florida to board a ship and pay less for the cruise, you still have to consider the cost for the airfare. So it works out to be about the same if you were to add airfare and cruise ticket from Florida and compare that to the cruise ticket from New York. By the way, cruises out of New York tend to be more expensive. So if you're closer to Florida or Norfolk or Baltimore, Charleston, then you should choose a cruise out of those ports as opposed to New York, unless there's a particular cruise ship you want to get on from New York. Considering that not too many ships have cruises all year, check with your travel agent to see what's available at the time you want to travel. Of course, you'll find the best rates on cruises during the fall. So if you can sail after August through the early part of November, that's the best time for you to go in terms of the fares. If you choose to go summer, prepare to be hit really hard with those prices. The Manhattan Cruise Port, or the New York Cruise Terminal, is located on 12th Avenue, and it's between 56th and 64th Streets. So it's not too far. It's several blocks, but not too far from the Times Square area and some other popular attractions in New York City. So you may want to consider planning to fly in or to go in by train a day early or 2 days early so you can check out the sights of the city and before you get on your cruise, or you can do it after you get off the cruise. I would recommend doing it before. People do that because, especially if you're not used to New York, if you've never vacationed in New York, then you want to take in as much as you can with this particular vacation. Uh, so the cruise port, as I said, is on 12th Avenue between 46 and I think 6th to 4th Streets. Hotels in the city are very expensive. I've stayed at Yotel, New York, and that was not as bad. It was like 200 something per night, and that was in the summer. It was July, so that's not too bad. That's not too far from the cruise port, so you could think about staying there. What you should know is that if you're going to book a hotel, the earlier you book it for New York, the better it is, because if you wait for the last minute, especially when everybody who is cruising decides to book a hotel, it's going to be hard to find a hotel room that's near the cruise terminal. So if you're planning to book a hotel, please do it early. Your travel agent can help you with that as well. Then finally, getting to the port, there are three airports you can use, you can fly into if you're flying into New York. Of course, people travel by train and by bus, whatever. But if you're flying in, the closest airport to the terminal is LaGuardia. It's the closest, and so you'll spend the less in taxi fare if you're going to fly into LaGuardia. So if you can fly into LaGuardia, please do that. If not, then the next one you should choose is Newark. That's cheap. That's closer than JFK, which is about 20 miles, and so your taxi fare will be more. Of course, you can also travel by shuttles or limousines, and of course there's public transportation. That's the cheapest, but the most inconvenient. And if you want to, try out the hustle and bustle of the city, see how the New Yorkers do it, then of course by all means plan. You can check with your travel agent. They can look into how you can go from the airport to the cruise terminal via public transportation. And it's not such a bad ride, but prepare for some hustle and some bustle. But that's the cheapest way to go. So there you have it. I hope that I've given you enough information that will at least get you started. But the best bet is always to check with your travel agent. They can do all that for you. You don't have to worry too much about finding the right things, because the travel agent has a better idea. The fact that that person has been booking these things for some time. But whatever you do, I know you will have fun on any cruise out of New York. So until next time, this is Peter from All-Inclusive Caribbean-Cruises.net saying, see you on the high seas. Bye.